Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello children, welcome to the session. In this session we are going to start with the chapter light, and children, in this session we are going to discuss, first of all we are going to discuss what is light, what is the nature of light, what is the nature of its path that it follows. We are going to discuss so many examples to prove to you what is the path of the light, and light always travels along straight path, children. Okay, and after studying the examples, I really hope you will understand that light can only travel in straight path. Okay, and children, so let's start with the lesson. So what is light, children? We all know that light is a source of energy, right? Everyone knows that. So that light is a source of energy, but the important thing here is, children, it is an invisible source of light. It is an invisible source of light. Now you are going to ask me, ma'am, how is it possible? We can see the beam of light at night, we can see the vehicles and we can observe their beam of light. So children, it is not actually the light that you are seeing. What is this? This is actually the path of light which has been made visible by scattering by the dust particles which are present in the atmosphere. Okay, so light is the invisible source of energy. Okay, so let's now move ahead and discuss a few examples. So first example is, children, if you might have observed a train. Let's observe this first picture. This is a train and it is moving at the time of night, and children, you can observe the beam of light through it, right? And you can see that this beam is traveling in a straight path, right? It's not a zigzag motion, it's all neither it is a curved path. So you can observe that the light which is coming from train is traveling along straight path. Okay children, so you can observe this, and I really hope you would have understood this example. Then children, the next image is of a lighthouse. Okay, and lighthouse also have big flashlights, and these lights you can observe its path, that it forms a beam of light. It is a beam of light, and children, this you can, and through this example again you can observe that light is traveling in a straight path, right? And if some obstacle comes in its way, it is not curving and then going in the other direction. What happens, it is the path of light is blocked by an obstacle, and there is the formation of shadow on the other side, right? What are shadows? We have studied that shadows are formed when an object or an obstacle comes in the path of light, and when this happens, we can observe a dark region on the other side of the object or the obstacle. Okay, so it forms a shadow. So you can observe that, children, the light can only travel along straight path. Okay, so let's move ahead and discuss some more examples. So children, you can observe in daily life when vehicles are moving at the time of you can observe it at the time of night. You will observe that their light is always forming a beam, and it shows that light is traveling along straight path. I have one more example which is a very interesting concept, and I really hope you will like it. Children, I have one more example for you, which is theaters. Whenever you go to a theater or a cinema hall, and if you try to look at the back of your seat, in front you have your screen on which you can enjoy your movie, right? But if you try and look at the back of your seat, you will observe a projector which is projecting your movie on the screen, and you can observe this light forming a path, forming a beam, and and you can observe this beam of light is traveling in a straight path, right children? It is traveling in a straight path. So these all of these examples from the daily life, you have observed that light can travel only along straight paths. Okay, let's move ahead. Now children, we are going to do an activity. Through this activity, it will become much more clear to you that light is traveling only along straight path. And children, suppose if such a question comes in exam, that give an example or give an activity or an experiment to show that light travels along straight line or straight path. So children, if a question is asked in the form of an experiment or an activity, in that case this question can come up to 3 to 5 mark question. Then you will have to present it in certain manner. First you will have to write about the aim of the experiment, in which you will write the aim is to prove that light travels along straight path. Then you will write materials required, that is, what are the materials required to conduct this experiment, and for this we will be needing a candle, a pipe, and another pipe which has a bend in it, or we can use a rubber pipe, and then we can just curve it a little bit, and we can form a curved pipe. Okay, then after this you will write about the procedure we are just about to discuss. But whenever you are writing procedure in exams, make sure that you are writing the procedure in points. Okay, and finally you will write about the observations. This also we are going to discuss, and finally you will have to write about the conclusions, that what you have what you can finally conclude from the experiment or the activity. So let's begin with the procedure. So children, what you have to do is you have to place a candle. You can also use a torch. Make sure that you are doing this experiment in a little darker room so that you can observe the light properly. Okay, now you're going to hold this rubber pipe like this, and from this side you will try to observe this flame of the candle. And what will be the observation for this part? That you will be able to see the light or the flame of the candle. Now what you're going to do is you will bend the pipe a little bit, make it a little curved. You have to make a bend in this. You can make it like this, or even you can do it like this, depending upon the flexibility of your pipe. And now you will try to again observe this flame or the light, and you will not be able to see this light. Okay, this will be the observation part for the second part. Okay, now children, what you can conclude, since this pipe was straight, through this we were able to observe the light, whereas in the other case where there was a bend in the pipe, we were not able to observe the light. And the reason is because the light can travel only along straight path, so in this straight pipe light can travel like this, and we will be able to observe light. But when we have a bend in our pipe, then light will be obstructed at this point only. So light cannot travel along the curved path, it can only move along the straight path. So this is the conclusion. What is the conclusion? That light always travels along the straight lines. Okay, so let's move ahead.
To prove that light travels in straight lines.
Materials required.
Small candle. Rubber tube about 2 feet long.
Procedure.
Place the rubber tube PQ on a table such that it is in line with edge and hence absolutely straight. Place a small lighted candle near the end P. Look through the tube from the end Q. You see the flame of the burning candle. This suggests that light travels in straight lines. Now bend the tube at point R. Again, look through the tube from the end Q. You notice that flame of the burning candle is no longer visible. This suggests that the light cannot bend around and hence it travels in straight lines. Conclusion. This activity proves that light travels in a straight line.
So let's move ahead. So children, let's just read a little more about light. In all cases, it is observed clearly that light seems to travel in straight lines. Okay, so we have discussed all the examples, and it is clear through all the examples that light can travel only along straight paths, right? Now, actually, the light is an invisible energy. That is the first thing that we studied about light. What? Light is an invisible source of energy, but it makes the dust particles in the path of light visible as the light falls on them, right children? So it is not the light that you can see in the beam of as you can see the beam, it is actually the path of light which has been made visible by the dust particles scattering the light. Okay, so we can say that light is an invisible source of energy. So children, based on all the observations and the experiments that we have done, we have observed so many examples, it is said that light travels in a straight line.